Hi, my name is Alice, and today I'd like to give an explanation about j'en veux plus. So I was asked if it means I don't want it anymore or if it means I want more. And actually, it could mean both, depending on how it is pronounced. So if I was to build a question on which I could reply j'en veux plus, for instance, quelqu'un veut du pain. Does someone want bread or some bread? I could say oui, j'en veux plus. In this case, I would pronounce the S, which means yes, I want more bread. Or I could say non, j'en veux plus. In this case, I do not pronounce the S, so I'm just going to write the S here and write nothing here so it's clear. And this means no, I do not want bread anymore. So the difference is in the first case, so in this first case, it's used as a comparative adverb, and in the second case, it's used as a negative adverb. So let me give a bit of context. As a comparative adverb, it means more, mostly. So, for instance, il est plus grand que son frère. He is taller than his brother. Ce livre est plus intéressant que le précédent. This book is more interesting than the last one. And here I put the Z because the pronunciation was changed to Z because plus was in front of interesting, which start with a vowel. And that's a general rule, so it's not specific to plus. But when an S is in front of a vowel, we switch to Z as a liaison to make it easier to pronounce. So, ce livre est plus intéressant que le précédent. J'en mange plus que toi. I eat more of it than you did. Like I eat more bread than you, for example. In this case, it's pronounced S because the combination plus que is always pronounced with S. That's just something you have to memorize. And then, j'en mange plus, which means I eat more. In this case, it's S as well because it's in the very end of a sentence. So in all cases, it meant more. In the first case, il est plus grand que son frère. He is taller than his brother. In the second case, ce livre est plus intéressant que le précédent. This book is more interesting than the first one, or the previous one. J'en mange plus que toi. I eat more of it than you. J'en mange plus. I eat more of it. The interesting thing to notice is I said plus que. In plus que, plus is pronounced with S. Here there is a que as well, but it's just not directly after plus. So because it's separated with another adjective, we don't need to pronounce the S anymore. So this rule of pronouncing the S drops off, sort of. So comparative adverb was the function of plus in this case. Now in the second case, non j'en veux plus, it's what we call a negative adverb. So for instance, if I say je ne vis plus en Belgique, it means I do not live in Belgium anymore. Je ne vis plus en Belgique. If I say, if someone else also does not live in Belgium, that someone else could reply, moi non plus, me neither. In this case, plus is also used as a negative adverb. And what is interesting here is that a lot of non-natives, instead of saying moi non plus, they say moi aussi, je ne vis plus en Belgique. But actually, because the sentence was negative here, you cannot say moi aussi. Because moi aussi means me too. It does not mean me neither. So we also, just like in English, have the me neither. And then a last example of plus used as a negative adverb is il ne reste plus rien or il ne reste plus que cela. This means there is nothing left. Il ne reste plus rien. Rester is to be left, like leftovers. Il ne reste plus que cela. There is only that left. So that's the only thing that is left over. But these two functions are not the only functions that the word plus can have. It can also be a superlative adverb. Superlative. So for instance, elle est la plus belle. She is the most beautiful. Ce film est le plus impressionnant. This movie is the most impressive. Ou j'ai travaillé le plus. I worked the most. Now again, I want to make a quick focus on the pronunciation. Elle est la plus belle. In this case, there is no S or no Z. Ce film est le plus impressionnant. In this case, we have the S in front of a vowel, so we change it to a Z. Ce film est le plus impressionnant. And in the last case, j'ai travaillé le plus. It's at the very end of a phrase, so again, we replace it by we pronounce the S. Now, plus can also be a noun. It then means advantages. For instance, quels sont les plus de cette voiture? What are the advantages of this car? So I hope this clarified the meaning of plus, how we can use it, how it can have different functions, how depending on the position and what comes next, we pronounce it differently. If you want to hear or to have explanation about other topics, please do not hesitate to leave a comment. I hope to see you soon. Goodbye.